Welcome back, dear students. Myself Nympha Mascarenas, your biology lecturer. So here, as you know, we are dealing with the chapter 2, that is biological classification, right? So we have been dealing with all the aspects of biological classification, right? Biological classification that we studied why we are actually studying biological classification, and apart from that, I also gave you 5 kingdom classification. Okay, I gave differentiation of the chart, how to easily remember all the 5 kingdom classification, and then we have studied about kingdom Monera, and this class we will be studying about kingdom Protista. Okay, so here kingdom Monera, as everyone know, we have grouped all the unicellular or multicellular prokaryotic animals in case of kingdom Monera. Okay, so here comes the rest all eukaryotic animals, right? So prokaryotic animals na now hengo differentiation ಮಾಡಿ kingdom Monera ಅಂತ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿವಿ, but eukaryotes ಗೆ ಬಂದಾಗ we face certain difficulties. Okay, difficulties ಏನಂದ್ರೆ there are vast eukaryotic organisms. Okay, eukaryotic organisms ಏನದಾವ, they are very vast. ಮತ್ತು ಈ eukaryotic organisms na when we go into the deeper studies, okay, we come across certain other kingdoms. Okay, one is kingdom Protista, fungi, animalia, plantae. Okay, so we all know that the rest all 4 kingdoms are nothing but those are basically consisting of eukaryotic organisms. Okay, so yeah, how to differentiate from other 3? The only one thing is that these are unicellular eukaryotic organisms, whereas the rest all fungi, plantae, animalia, these are multicellular eukaryotic organisms. Is it clear? See, up to kingdom Protista you can have the clear differentiation. Okay, ನಿಮಗೆ ಅವತ್ತು ಒಂದು organism ಸಿಕ್ತು which is unlabeled. Okay, so unlabeled organisms ನಾಗ ನೀವು ಹೆಂಗೆ ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫೈ ಮಾಡೋದಂದ್ರೆ you can identify all the different structures, characters observe ಮಾಡ್ರಿ, and then when you come to know that it is not at all belonging to kingdom Monera, that is it is not a Protistan, you feel that it is a eukaryotic. Okay, sorry, if it is not a prokaryotic, you feel that it is eukaryotic. Eukaryotic in the sense means that the cell is very complex. Okay, cell has certain cell wall, cell membranes, and nucleus consists of nuclear membrane. All the different cell organelles like mitochondria, Golgi apparatus, lysosomes. Okay, all these different cell organelles are present in case of eukaryotic cell. Okay, so when you come across all these membrane bound organelles, okay, cell organelles, then you can say that okay, E organism is eukaryotic organism. And if it is unicellular, which means single celled organism, then you can place it under kingdom Protista. And that's why the basic differentiation from rest all 3 kingdoms, whichever is left, okay, fungi, plantae, animalia, these all 3 are eukaryotic multicellular organisms, but Protista is eukaryotic unicellular organism. Unicellular andre only one cell is present. One cell performs all the different functions of body. Okay, be it either from eating, okay, digestion, respiration, excretion, reproduction, okay, all the basic needs whichever is necessity for an organism, that is all performed by a single cell, and that's why navenant heltevi unicellular organism. Is it clear? And all the Protistan kingdom consist of all the unicellular eukaryotic organisms. Okay, and next is these are primarily aquatic in nature. Okay, primarily aquatic habitat andre ಅವ್ರು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾವಂದ್ರೆ ಬೇಸಿಕಲಿ ದೇ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ದ ಹೋಮ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ಟು aquatic region. Aquatic ಅಂದರೆ ನೀರಲ್ಲಿ ದೇ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್. Okay, and apart from that, if they feel they are not happy with the water, then they leave the water and move to other sources. That is parasitic mode, living on other organisms. Okay, just being very lazy and thinking that we can get our food however, and that's how they can go and live a parasitic mode of life. But primarily many of the protist organisms are aquatic in nature. That is, they are confined to water bodies. Okay, water bodies aquatic andre it might be either fresh water agli, stagnant water agli, okay, and then also marine water agbodu. Okay, they are found in all the sources of water. Next, forms linked with other kingdoms. Okay, so form links with other kingdom andre, see basically link andre ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, see link is nothing but one, say for example this is one organism and this is other organism. Okay, so ಏನು ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ಲ ಇದ್ರ ನಡುವರ್ಕ ಒಂದು ಲಿಂಕ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ, ಕನೆಕ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಲಿಂಕ್. Okay, this is how these two organisms connect with each other with the help of certain links. Okay, and when you come across evolution ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನೀವು ಓದುವಾಗ you also come across certain connecting links. Okay, I'll write that word. Okay, connecting links ಅಂದ್ರೆ one organism ಗ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ ಗ ಲಿಂಕಿಂಗ್ ಕೊಡುವುದು. ಓಕೆ, ಒನ್ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ ಇಂದ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ ಗೆ ಏನು ಲಿಂಕ್ ಬರ್ತದಲ್ಲ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಕನೆಕ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಲಿಂಕ್. ಅಂಡ್ ಬೇಸಿಕಲಿ ಆಲ್ ದ ಪ್ರೊಟಿಸ್ಟನ್ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ ಆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಸ್ ಕನೆಕ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಲಿಂಕ್ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ Protista is one such kingdom that when we talk about Protista, we get the characters of all the other kingdoms. Okay, you will come to know at the last when I give the differentiation, different groups of protozoa. Okay, so when I give different groups, you will come to know why this is a connecting link. But right now, you can understand that this is connecting link because they also link to plants, they also link to fungi, they also link to Monera because they are unicellular, and they also link to animals in one or the other way. Okay, and that's why we say that these forms link with majority of the other kingdoms. The rest four kingdoms, living Protista, Monera agli, fungi agli, animalia agli, plantae agli, all these four kingdoms, they have certain links with Protista. Okay, and that's why we say that these are connecting links. Okay, and here next is body consists of well-defined nucleus and other nuclear organelles. Okay, other cell organelles. So body consists of well-defined nucleus. Okay, well-defined nucleus andre nucleus ಒಳಗೆ ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯೋಪ್ಲಾಸಮ್ ಇರ್ತದ, ಹೊರಗೆ ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಮೆಂಬ್ರೇನ್ ಇರ್ತದ, and nucleoplasm consists of DNA as a genetic material. Okay, and nucleosomes are there, okay, which are proteins. Okay, DNA proteins. So all this thing is present, that is nucleus is well defined. And next is other cell membrane bound organelles. Okay, all the different cell membranes. Okay, the cell membrane bound organelles. Okay, cell membrane bound organelles are nothing but mitochondria, lysosome, Golgi apparatus, okay, ribosomes. Okay, all these cell membranes are present. All these cell organelles are present. So here evella cell organelles mattu chalo nucleus ittandre we can say that it is eukaryotic organism. Is it clear? And I told you in the first line itself that these all are eukaryotic unicellular organism. So that's why being eukaryotic organism, they have well-defined nucleus and all the different cell organelles with cell membranes. Is it clear? Okay. So these all are the different characters of Protista. And then when we come further characters, we also see that they have some of them have flagella. Okay, if they move, if movement of the organism is seen, okay, movement yavattu nodidaga there must be certain locomotory structures. Okay, locomotory structures ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನದಾವ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಫ್ಲಾಜಿಲ್ಲಾ ಮತ್ತು ಸೀಲಿಯಾ ಇರ್ತಾವ. ಓಕೆ, ಫ್ಲಾಜಿಲ್ಲಾ ಮತ್ತು ಸೀಲಿಯಾ ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಸಿಯೇಷನ್ ಏನು ಕೊಡ್ಬಹುದು ನೀವು? ಓಕೆ, ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ರಿಮೆಂಬರ್. ಓಕೆ, ಫ್ಲಾಜಿಲ್ಲಾ ಮತ್ತು ಸೀಲಿಯಾ, ದೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಬಟ್ ದೀಸ್ ಆರ್ locomotory structures. Both are one and the same in structure. Okay, but they differ a bit in case of morphology, because I'll just draw a diagram. Okay, so in this diagram I hope this is visible. Okay, one over here I have drawn Euglena, and this one I have drawn it as a Paramecium. Okay, so il difference enada andre one consists of flagella and the other consists of cilia. So flagella and cilia you can have differentiation. Okay, structurally both one and the same, but morphologically ನೀವು ಹೋದಾಗ flagella is longer. Okay, cilia is shorter. Okay, you can see flagella are 1 or 2 in number. Okay, flagella ಇವತ್ತು ಒಂದಿಲ್ಲ ಎರಡು ನಂಬರ್ ತಾಗಿರ್ತಾವ. Whereas ನೀವು cilia ಅನ್ನ ನೋಡಿದಾಗ you find thousands and hundreds of cilia. That is the one differentiation. Cilia are many more in numbers and flagella is 1 or 2 in number. Both cilia and flagella are one and the same because they act as locomotory structures, and if you go for the function, both function in a similar manner. Okay, the movement of the both structure is seen in case of similar manner. That's why when we go for the higher studies, we say that both flagella and cilia are one and the same. Okay, very good. So next point is reproduce asexually and sexually. So all these organisms coming under kingdom Protista, they all reproduce asexually or sexually. Asexual modes of reproduction, you know, regeneration ide. Okay, all the different modes which I given earlier, spore formation, this, that, everything that comes under asexual mode of reproduction. Whereas sexual mode of reproduction is fusion of male and female gametes. Cell fusion takes place, forming the zygote. Okay, so that's why we say that these reproduce both asexually as well as sexually. Okay, so this is all the characters of kingdom Protista. Okay, these are the general and basic characters which state that whichever unlabeled or unidentified organism is seen, okay, ನೀವು ಯಾವತ್ತು ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ you find unlabeled or unidentified organism, ಯಾವುದೋ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫೈ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ ಮತ್ತು ಆ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ ಇವೆಲ್ಲ characters they show, then we can say that all these characters are true for the kingdom Protista. You can take that unidentified organism and place under kingdom Protista. Is it clear? So these are the characters of kingdom Protista. So now let's move to different groups or divisions of the kingdom Protista. See, remember one thing, that kingdom Protista is divided into 5 groups. Okay, one is chrysophytes, okay, euglenoids, slime molds, okay, and then comes protozoans and dinoflagellates. Okay, I'll deal in detail about all the different divisions of kingdom Protista. Okay, so listen over here. First is chrysophytes. Okay, chrysophytes are the ones that are found in case of both marine as well as freshwater, because we know that kingdom Protista consists primarily of aquatic organisms. Okay, kingdom Protista consists primarily of aquatic organisms. So right now we are talking of all the different aquatic organisms, okay, which are belonging to kingdom Protista. So here the first group or first division is chrysophytes. Chrysophytes means that this consists of the organism which belong to both marine as well as freshwater body. Marine andre both belongs to sea and also the lakes, all these freshwater bodies, river, ponds, etc. Okay, so that's why we say that it belongs to both freshwater as well as marine water. And then coming back to chrysophytes, basically we see them as diatoms or diatoms or desmids. Okay, I'll write the word. Okay, we can say that chrysophytes consist of diatoms and desmids. Okay, so desmids are nothing but these are called as golden algae. Okay, golden algae yaake ಹೇಳ್ತೇವೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ these appear like algae, but whenever they are exposed to sunlight they shine. Okay, they shine and give a golden yellow appearance. Okay, and that's why we call them as golden algae. Okay, apart from that, this desmids and diatoms, okay, as we know they are found in both marine and freshwater. They are called as plankton. Plankton yakandre they have a light body, okay, because they are unicellular, they have a lighter body, and what they do in the end, okay, they float on the surface of water body, because we know that as per science the heavier particles rest at the bottom whereas the lighter particle float on the surface. Okay, and these being the lighter organism, they float on the surface of the water body. Okay, and that's why these floating creatures are called as planktons. Okay, so planktons may be a different thing when you come for the other studies. Zooplanktons or phytoplanktons. Phytoplanktons are the one which belonging to plant source. Zooplanktons are the one which belonging to the animal source. But here basically we can just call them as planktons. Is it clear? So these are found in fresh water as well as marine, and they float on the surface of the water. That's why they are called as planktons. Okay, and next is cell wall consists of two overlapping shells. Okay, like I have told you in the first class, the shell, okay, the cell wall of these consists of overlapping shells. Okay, fitting with each other very firmly, which you can see over here. This is one shell, this is other shell, and they fit with each other. Okay, that is called as overlapping shells. Okay, just to imagine overlapping shell, ನೀವು ಒಂದು ಇಮ್ಯಾಜಿನೇಷನ್ ತರಬಹುದು. ಸೋಪ್ ಬಾಕ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ನೋಡಿರಬಹುದಲ್ಲ ಮನ್ಯಾಗ. Okay, soap box ಹೆಂಗಿರ್ತದ, one fit with other perfectly. Okay, even soap box fitting irtadalla, same fitting is seen in case of chrysophyte shells. Okay, and that's why these shells are made up of silica. Okay, silica is nothing but it is a kind of organic matter. So all these shells are made up of silica. Okay, silica in the eve ella shells form agenda, which you can imagine that it is very rigid structure. Okay, mat barta as days goes on, as years goes on, okay, barta billion years ಆದರೆ ಇವೆಲ್ಲ organisms ಹೋಗಿರಬಹುದು, but silica ಏನದಲ್ಲ from their shell that remains as it is. Okay, did you get? Okay, as the days goes on, okay, organism take birth and die. Okay, even after they die, the shells which are over here, overlapping shells made up of silica, of this only the siliceous cells, okay, that is silica, okay, the shells made up of silica only remain as it is, but the rest of the organism die off. Okay, and that's why we can say they form diatomaceous earth. Okay, diatomaceous earth andre the remaining portion of the silica from the chrysophytes is called as diatomaceous earth. Okay, this is very important, and this diatomaceous earth can be used as a polisher. Okay, wood polishing nodiri, furniture polishing nodiralla, aden polishing paper irtadalla, sometimes e polishing paper is made up of diatomaceous earth. Okay, apart from that, the persons yarige cholesterol high irtadalla, they can take this diatomaceous earth. Okay, because this diatomaceous earth is made up of silica. Okay, yavattu cholesterol high atandre the person who has higher cholesterol is advised to take silica. Okay, silica as a syrup, as a tablet they take, so that they can reduce their cholesterol. So in this way we can see that apart from paper polishers, these are also used as the syrups. Okay, and other thing is whenever some of the oils are extracted, this silica has been used. Okay, and apart from this also certain nail paints which girls apply. Okay, nail paints, nail polishes also consist of the silica. Okay, these are all the uses of diatomaceous earth, and this diatomaceous earth is made from chrysophytes cell wall. Okay, because the chrysophyte cell wall consists of overlapping shells which are made up of silica, and this, when the years goes on, when the years pass on, this silica remain as it is, but the organism die completely, and this silica which is left out for many billions of years is called as diatomaceous earth, and this can be used for many different purposes. Is it clear? So this is about chrysophytes, and now moving to the next, and apart from this also, these are chief producers in oceans. Chief producers andre what you can imagine, they might be, they produce certain source, food source, this, that. Okay, production is nothing relevant to forming the ocean. Okay, chief producers in ocean andre, they do not form ocean. Keep this one thing in point. They are producers in the event of cycle of food web. Food web bandaga we see primary producers, secondary producer, consumer, decomposers. Okay, food web bandaga producers, consumers, decomposers kelirಬಹುದಲ್ಲ, and in that producers are nothing but they produce certain food, right? So these are producers in oceans, which means that they go on producing food in case of ocean. Okay, is it clear? So this is all about chrysophytes, and now moving to dinoflagellates. Okay, by the name you can say that dinoflagellates. Dino is two, flagellate is flagellum, that is mode of locomotion. So these are all the organism consisting of two flagella, but if the two flagella are present, these two flagella must be 90 degrees with each other. 90 degrees head formation agtadandra, one is placed longitudinal, whereas other is placed transverse. Okay, which means transverse andre opposite to one. Okay, longitudinal and other is transverse, and that's why we see a 90-degree angles in case of these two flagella. Okay, and these are mostly marine and photosynthetic. Mostly all the dinoflagellates are marine in nature. Okay, but chrysophytes are both marine and aquatic, but dinoflagellates are totally marine. Only few might be freshwater. Okay, and they appear yellow, green, brown and red. Okay, these appear yellow, green, brown and red on the basis of their pigments present. Okay, if they have a green color pigment, that is chlorophyll pigment. If they have this green color pigment, they appear green in color. If they have yellow pigment, they appear yellow in color. Okay, ಅಕಸ್ಮಾತ್ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಬ್ರೌನ್ ಪಿಗ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ಬ್ರೌನ್ ಅಂತ ಅಪಿಯರೆನ್ಸ್ ಬರ್ತದ, ಇಲ್ಲ ರೆಡ್ ಕಲರ್ ಪಿಗ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ರೆಡ್ ಅಪಿಯರೆನ್ಸ್ ಬರ್ತದೆ. ಓಕೆ, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಪಿಗ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಯಾವ ಇರ್ತದಲ್ಲ ಒಳಗೆ ಬಾಡಿ ಒಳಗೆ, ಬೇಸ್ಡ್ ಆನ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಪಿಗ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಹೊರಗಿನ ಅಪಿಯರೆನ್ಸ್ನು ಕಲರ್ ಬರ್ತದೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಒಳಗಿನ ಪಿಗ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಕಸ್ಮಾತ್ ಗ್ರೀನ್ ಕಲರ್ ಇತ್ತಂದ್ರೆ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕ್ಲೋರೋಫಿಲ್ ಪಿಗ್ಮೆಂಟ್. ಸೇಮ್ ಗ್ರೀನ್ ಕಲರ್ ಪಿಗ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಸಂಬಂಧ ಹೊರಗಿನ ಬಾಡಿ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಅಪಿಯರ್ ಟು ಬಿ ಗ್ರೀನ್ ಕಲರ್. Okay, and here these are all on the basis of pigments, and they have two flagella. Okay, if they have two flagella, one is longitudinal, other is transverse, and these are called as, okay, example you can take as gonalics. Okay, gonalics that enagtadandra they form red tides in oceans. Okay, red tides in oceans andre ನೀವು ಇಂಟರ್ನೆಟ್ದಾಗ ಭಾಳಷ್ಟು ಇಮೇಜಸ್ ನೋಡಿರ್ಬೋದು. ಓಕೆ, ದ ಪೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಎನ್ವೈರ್ಮೆಂಟ್. ಓಕೆ, ಎನ್ವೈರ್ಮೆಂಟಲ್ ಪೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ದಾಗ ವಾಟರ್ ಪೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಓದುವಾಗ ಆರ್ಎಲ್ಸ್ ಫೋಟೋಸ್ ನೋಡುವಾಗ ರೆಡ್ ಕಲರ್ ವಾಟರ್ ನೋಡಿರ್ಬೋದಲ್ಲ, ರೆಡ್ ಓಷನ್, ರೆಡ್ ರಿವರ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಇವೇನು ರೆಡ್ ಓಷನ್ ಆರ್ ರೆಡ್ ರಿವರ್ ಅಪಿಯರೆನ್ಸ್ ಬರ್ತದಲ್ಲ, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಆಲ್ ಡ್ಯೂ ಟು ಪೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಬೈ dinoflagellates. Okay, you dinoflagellates get their food a lot. ಓಕೆ, ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಭಾಳಷ್ಟು ಫುಡ್ ಸಿಕ್ತಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ದಾಗ ನೀವೇನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ, ಆ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಯಾವತ್ತೂ ಹೋಗಂಗಿಲ್ಲ, ರೈಟ್? ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಈಸಿಲಿ ಫುಡ್ ಅವೈಲೇಬಲ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ. ಓಕೆ, ದ್ಯಾಟ್ಸ್ ವೈ ನೀವು ಆ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಬೇರೆ ಪ್ಲೇಸಿಗೆ ಹೋಗೋದು ಥಾಟೇ ತರಂಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಸೇಮ್ ವೇ dinoflagellates also, if they get lot more good nourishment from one source, they go on multiplying in number. Okay, what they do, they reproduce rapidly. Rapid reproduction andre ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ನಂಬರ್ದಾಗ reproduction we can see. Okay, if the reproduction rate increases, then we see increase in number of population. Okay, reproduction ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆತಂದ್ರೆ population ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. Population ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆತಂದ್ರೆ crowd ಆಗ್ತದಲ್ಲ, places will be crowdy. Okay, so crowded places ಆತಂದ್ರೆ all the entire ocean or all the entire water body where the dinoflagellates are present, they form a red tide or the bloom. Okay, which here this red tide appears to be reddish in color. Okay, that's why it has a name red tide. And tide because they cause certain havoc. Havoc andre avu bahalastu problems anna create ಮಾಡ್ತಾವ. Okay, these problems are nothing but they also cause death of other fishes into water body. Because fishes heng survive ಆಗ್ತಾವಂದ್ರೆ whenever atmospheric oxygen diffuses. Okay, this oxygen is somewhat used by all these fishes. Okay, because they use the oxygen which is diffused in water, but here we use the oxygen which is present in air, and they use the oxygen fishes which is diffused in water. So if there is no diffusion, because all the surface is covered by dinoflagellates, oxygen will not diffuse from atmosphere, and that's why oxygen will not reach the water body, and that's why we see the death of certain fishes due to red tides. Okay, all these red tides are caused by dinoflagellates. Is it clear? So this is about certain problems which are caused by dinoflagellates. And then is cell wall has stiff cellulose plates. Okay, but here we heard that cell wall consists of overlapping shells called as silica in chrysophytes. In case of dinoflagellates, we can say that cell wall consists of the stiff cellulose plates. Is it clear? So this is all about dinoflagellates. And now moving to euglenoids. Okay, so here euglenoids bandaga, okay, we can see euglenoids are totally fresh water. Okay, chrysophytes are both marine as well as fresh water. Okay, dinoflagellates are totally marine. Euglenoids are totally fresh water in nature. Okay, so here apart from silica, okay, as chrysophytes they have silica, then dinoflagellates have cellulosic cell wall plate, but they do not have cellulose or silica, but euglenoids have pellicle. Okay, a protein rich layer called as pellicle, and this pellicle which is proteinaceous help them into easy movement of the body. Okay, and that's why they have pellicle. And here they have flagella too. Some may have flagella or some may do not have flagella, but the ones which have flagella, they just for example, okay, I'll draw euglena over here. Okay, so that is the structure of euglena. I will not draw the inner structure, you can just look into your books. Okay, this is euglena, how it appears. You can see the shape is somewhat like a spiral. Okay, and it has a flagella. Okay, it actually has a two flagella. You can see one is coming from this side and another is from the other side, and both join at the end and form one flagella. Okay, so this is how we find flagella. Okay, flagella are nothing but these are the locomotor structures. Okay, and we find these flagella locomotor structures in case of euglenoids. And then these are mixotrophic in nutrition. Example is euglena. Okay, just take the example of euglena. Okay, they somewhat have okay green color pigments. Okay, sometimes euglena also appear as greenish in color just by the presence of chlorophyll pigment. Okay, euglena has a chlorophyll pigment, and on the basis of chlorophyll pigment they go on producing food for themselves. Okay, that is a mode of autotrophic nutrition. Okay, here I can write that these are autotrophic, which means that they produce their own food because they have green pigment, that is chlorophyll pigment. Okay, so chlorophyll pigment ಹೆಂಗೆ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸನ್ಲೈಟ್ ಬಂದಾಗ ಅಷ್ಟು chlorophyll pigment ಅನ್ಕ ಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಓಕೆ, chlorophyll pigment ಇಂದ ಫುಡ್ ಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಬಟ್ ಇನ್ ಸಮ್ ಸೀಸನ್ಸ್, ರೇನಿ ಸೀಸನ್ಸ್, ಎಕ್ಸೆಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಸನ್ಲೈಟ್ ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲ, ಅವಾಗ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು? ಅವಾಗ ದೇ ಕೆನಾಟ್ ಸ್ಟೇ ಎಂಟಿ, ರೈಟ್? ಅವಾಗ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾವಂದ್ರೆ absence of sunlight ಇದ್ದಾಗ the chlorophyll pigment shuts down. The work of the chlorophyll shuts down. Okay, we also close the shutter of certain shops, right? Morning we open the shutters and at night we close. In the same way, sunlight iddaga they open the shutters of chlorophyll pigment, and if absence of sunlight they close the shutter of chlorophyll pigment, which means that they go on depending on other animals for food, other organisms. Okay, avag we say that it is heterotrophic. Okay, so here we saw both autotrophic as well as heterotrophic. Okay, and if an organism exhibits both the different mode of nutrition, autotrophic as well as heterotrophic alternatively, then we can call them as mixotrophic organisms, because they show the mixture of both autotrophic as well as heterotrophic nutrition. Okay, example you can take it as euglena. Okay, fourth one are slime moulds. Okay, slime moulds ಹೆಸರು ಮೇಲೆ you can say that moulds andre I hope some have created certain example at your homes. Okay, ನೀವು ಚಾ ಅನ್ನ ಕಪ್ನಾಗ ತಗೊಂಡಿರ್ಬೋದು and you forget at that place. Okay, ಆ place na ನೀವು ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ tea in that cup, you forget it for 2 to 3 days. After 2 to 3 days you see certain structures on your tea. Obviously you cannot drink that tea, right? But still you observe certain tiny organisms, moulds bandirtav, fungus bandirtav. Okay, in the same way, whenever there is dead organic matter, say for example leaf irbodu illa other organism irbodu, a dead organisms idre ಆ organism ಮೇಲೆ ಬಂದು moulds ಅನ್ನ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಾವ, slime moulds. Slime because they go on sliming. Okay, as the slime they eat all the food which is present and they leave the leftover. Okay, this is how we call them as slime moulds. And here these are saprophytic protistans. Saprophytic means they go on depending on other dead and decaying organic matter. Dead andre dry leaves agli, dead organisms agli. Okay, dead organisms male feed madidre we can call it as saprophytic mode of nutrition. Okay, and here the life cycle of slime moulds include plasmodium structure first. Plasmodium andre okay, the spore S-shaped structure kind of organism is seen, and this plasmodium, see I'll just show you the picture. Okay, after this clip, after this slime moulds, I'll show you the picture of slime mould. There you can see the life cycle. Okay, so ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ನೋಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಿಗ್ತದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ first is they have irregular structure, that is plasmodium. Okay, this irregular structure inda they form different spores. Spore formation ಯಾಕೆ ಆಗ್ತದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ okay, if the environment is unfavorable, if they come to understand that it is very hot ಇದ್ದಾಗ obviously ಅವ್ರ ಫ್ಯಾನ್ ಅಂಕ ಆನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬರಂಗಿಲ್ಲಲ್ಲ, that's why what they do, unfavorable condition ಇದ್ದಾಗ they multiply in huge amount and survive in a spore. Okay, sporangium synthesis ಆಗ್ತದ, ಆ sporangium ಒಳಗೆ ಅವು ಸರ್ವೈವ್ ಆಗ್ತಾವ, and these all structure we call it as spore. ಮತ್ತು ಫೇವರೇಬಲ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಬಂದಾಗ, ಓಕೆ, ಕ್ಲೈಮೆಟಿಕ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಆದಾಗ this sporangium comes to know that they can reproduce again. So this sporangium bursts open. All the gynates, sporules or the cells which are there, they move into the air current and they go and form the new colony. Okay, this is how the slime moths reproduce. Okay, I'll show you the picture at the last. You can get the proper idea. Okay, and next coming back to the last ones are protozoans. Okay, protozoans are heterotrophs. Okay, by the name I say that proto, first, zoa is animal. Okay, and that's why these can be called as first animalcules. But there was a controversy. Controversy ಅಂದರೆ ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ಜಗಳ ಆಗಿತ್ತು ಪ್ರೋಟೋಜೋವಾ ಬಗ್ಗೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಅದ್ರ ಸಂಬಂಧ ಪ್ರೋಟೋಜೋವಾ ಆರ್ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ಡ್ ಇಂಟು ಕಿಂಗ್ಡಮ್ ಪ್ರೊಟಿಸ್ಟಾ. ಪ್ರೊಟಿಸ್ಟಾ ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ದಿಸ್ ಕನ್ಸಿಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಯೂನಿಸೆಲ್ಯುಲರ್ ಯೂಕ್ಯಾರಿಯೋಟಿಕ್ ಮೈಕ್ರೋ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ಅಂಡ್ ಪ್ರೋಟೋಜೋವನ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ unicellular eukaryotic organisms. Is it clear? And that's why these are placed into kingdom Protista. Okay, protozoans are heterotrophs. Okay, they had a controversy of becoming an animal because they truly show heterotrophic mode of nutrition. Okay, our protozoans na yavattu heterotrophic nutrition ತೋರಿಸ್ತದೆ. Okay, which means majority animals ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾವ ಅಂದ್ರೆ they depend on other organism for food, right? You also depend on plants for your food. Okay, in the same way these protozoans ಅವರು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾವ ಅಂದ್ರೆ other organisms ಮೇಲೆ ಡಿಪೆಂಡ್ ಆಗ್ತಾವ. That's why there was a confusion that your animals ಅದಾವೋ plants ಅದಾವೋ ಏನು ಅದಾವೋ. Okay, this was the controversy and that's why at the end protozoans are placed into kingdom Protista. Okay, and these can be acted as a predators or parasites. Predators andre hunting other animal and eating them. Okay, eating on the hunted animal is called as predator. Parasites are living a happy, jolly and lazy life. Okay, staying into a body of other organism. Okay, just for example, in our body, in our intestine itself, we have many other lazy organisms. Okay, they are in us as a parasitic mode of life. Okay, so protozoans are also further divided into 4 different classes. Okay, that is amoeboid protozoans, flagellated protozoans, ciliated protozoans and sporozoans. Okay, amoeboid protozoans are nothing but just for example amoeba, okay, or else entamoeba. Okay, whenever you imagine amoeba, you can see that they have pseudopodia like structure. Okay, I'll just draw it over here. Okay, amoeba ಏನದ irregular structure of the body. Okay, ಹೆಂಗ ಬೇಕಾದಂತಾಗಿದೆ, that is amoeba. Okay, irregular structure of body. Okay, these are called as pseudopodia. Okay, pseudopodia helps in case of nutrition as well as locomotion. Okay, that is amoeboid protozoans, example entamoeba. And then comes flagellated protozoans. Okay, flagellated protozoans andre, okay, these protozoans have flagella. Okay, flagella andre iden locomotive structure irtadalla, 1 or 2 number idre, that is flagella. Okay, if there are many, okay, if there are many structures, we can call them as cilia. Okay, flagellated protozoan example is Trypanosoma. Ciliated protozoan example is Paramecium. I gave you the difference of flagella and cilia. Okay, and last one are the sporozoans. Okay, sporozoans are, okay, the S-shaped structure organism which you get. Okay, those are called as sporozoans. Example Plasmodium. Okay, this is Plasmodium, malarial parasite. Okay, Plasmodium ಏನೇನು ಇರ್ತದಲ್ಲ, Plasmodium, this is nothing but that causes malaria. Okay, so here you can see that sporozoans are most dangerous and naughtiest creatures. Dangerous and naughtiest andre we also cannot assume when they will attack humans, but definitely they will attack humans. Okay, and that's why they are known to be very notorious creatures on earth. Okay, is it clear? So this is all about Kingdom Pratishta. I hope I have clarified my points to you. If you have any doubts, you can ask me anytime, and soon I'll be sending the notes of Kingdom Pratishta. Okay, so before this I would like to clear you about the previous notes, that is about chapter 1. Okay, chapter 1, the last part, taxonomical aids, that has been deleted in your portion, and that's why I'll not be sending the notes of this, but yeah, you can just read it as you want. Okay, and if you have doubts regarding chapter 2, okay, you can ask me, and I have sent you the notes of biological classification and Kingdom Monera. I'll be soon sending the notes of Kingdom Pratishta too. Okay, so thank you all for watching this video, and if you have any doubts, you can ask me anytime, and I am free to answer your doubts. And next class will be learning about Kingdom Fungi. Yes, thank you for watching the video again.